the fourth instalment in what caught my eye series. In this edition, I'm going to focus on the Vermin getting another refereeing decision going their way. Another offside decision, which means they top the table of most goals scored via offside. I am absolutely fuming. I'm erupting like a volcano. Got steam out of my ears. And I don't mean literally. The Premier League referees are absolute corrupt. I've counted so many times this season where they've had decisions go their way. Mo Salah, offside against Bournemouth. Dives like a bitch against Newcastle. No penalty whatsoever. Offside goal against West Ham. The offside goal last week against Spurs. It's becoming a regular occurrence and I am absolutely furious. Does Brendan Klopp bun the referees a couple of quid before the match even starts? It's an absolute disgrace and it shouldn't happen. And you know what's happening, don't you? The referees up above know that VAR is going to be introduced next season and that there'll be no mistakes. So they're trying to go, do you know what, we'll make so many mistakes before VAR is implemented so we can have our last laugh before we can't make any more controversial decisions. It's an absolute joke. I mean, how many times do these scout bastards get lucky? They're flukeable. And if the worst comes to the worst, then they've done what people think they're going to do by default. It'll be by default and not anything else. This can't carry on. The officiating is getting worse. Cardiff City were denied a win because of those stupid officials. It's ridiculous. They shouldn't be happening. The most obvious errors shouldn't be happening. You should be able to spot that. It's so simple. You go to university to learn to be a referee. You go on courses to be a referee. You should not let decisions like that, and this is the Vermin have got, go for them. It's an absolute joke. And now we have to rely on Chelsea going to Scunfield to win. Can you trust Chelsea to go there and win? Because I certainly can't. Especially with Zari and all that. It's a joke. I can't believe what's going on here. The Vermin doing what they always do. Fluke a result when they need to. I fucking hope Man City win the league, because if they don't, then humanity as we know it is going to crumble and it's going to evaporate. I hate them like with a fucking passion. They always do something, right? Always do something. It's always them, isn't it? Dirty scouts will rob your house, you scout-feeding bastards. It's a disgrace, this is. Absolute disgrace. Something needs to be done. And it's efficient. You got the referee last week, or linesman, laughing as Spurs scored their winner. It's not on and it's not fair. It's ridiculous. Glaring errors that could have easily been sorted out. But next season there will be. And do you know what? It'll embarrass these referees. If that happens again, right, and VAR's implemented, the referees look embarrassed. Because they say, oh, hold on a minute. I didn't spot that last season, but this season VAR has spotted it and got it correctly. And you look like an absolute muppet. And all of us who can't stand the dirty scouse, a time reminder that if you want the dirty Vermin to win the league, you're not a United fan. I think you know who I'm talking about there. But anyway, as an actual Manchester United fan, no United fan wants those dirty rats to win anything. And it's just ridiculous. And people will go, well, it's bitterness. It's not bitterness. It's cast iron facts. You look at the offside goals they've scored, that doesn't count to bitterness, that counts to facts. And once again, the media have got what they wanted. You got Martin Tyler, right, who's a closet Liverpool fan, a closet Arsenal fan. You got Jamie bloody Carragher that spits on a young child and he doesn't get the sack. He gets a little bit of a slap on the wrist. It's a disgrace. The whole media are in love with Liverpool. They're the media darlings that can do no wrong. And that's always been their sentiment, always been the way they do it. I'm just flipping furious. It's not on this. I hope Man City win every single game at the end of this season. They have to. They just have to. Because if they don't, then that's it. The inevitable is going to happen. And that sickens me. It really frustrates me. And this is really, really annoying. It really is. But I'm sure everybody else who's an actual Manchester United fan that knows the history and the rivalry, not just rivalry, pure utter hatred, by the way, knows that nobody wants the Dirty Vermin to win the league if you're a United fan, or if you don't support the Dirty Vermin. So things are going to change, but by God, I feel sick. I feel really, really sick. People say, "Oh, you're repeating yourself." By God, I'm repeating myself, because I could say more, but I can't. It's ridiculous now. I feel so hurt, so down in the dumps over this. It's an absolute disgrace. You know, who do I hate the most? The Dirty Danes or the Dirty Vermin? The Dirty Vermin just about, but it's, you know, it's on a seesaw there. But the referees, again, you know, disgraceful. As I said before, you know, a couple of days ago on YouTube, you know, you're not just playing against the opposition, you're playing against the referee too. And that, for me, is an indictment, and that's the burst sentence that I will use. It's a disgrace. You know, Cardiff could go down if that decision, you know, relegates them. It's so unfair. It's so glaringly obvious. I don't need to be a linesman to know that was offside. Don't need to be it. And it's like, isn't it, when these teachers go to university to study to be a teacher, and then when they get the top job, they sleep one of their pupils, and then they get struck off. They get struck off and they end up in prison. Oh, that hard work, trying to be a teacher down the Swanee, in the gutter. And that's what these officials are like. Corrupt organisation. Corrupt per se. And Charlie Austin, we should congratulate him for saying what he said a couple of months ago. The referees need help. But I tell you something, they're not helping themselves.